to reload the video. Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Traverian, and today we're here for the part 3 of the video of how to make an armature and how to build on it, and I will show you the next step after the Miliput is dry. And the first step will be to apply the polymerclay, and you're going to need some super glue, obviously, and take something that you can roll out the super glue, the polymerclay with, and we will just try to cover the big parts first, so the chest, for example, and make sure your first layer is really thin, and make sure that your super glue doesn't dry in while you're putting it on. I mean putting the polymer on, of course, because then you'll get areas that don't stick too well, and it will look kind of stupid. I mean, looking stupid isn't that much of a problem, but it will come off and not stick to the armature very well, and it's a hassle that you can avoid. Let's put it that way. So, and as you press on the polymer, you will have some spillage, and you can avoid that also by putting a bit less glue on than the actual area you're going to cover. Gonna need a bit more clay. So let me just get that. Okay, ready to move on. So prepare another sheet. And press it on again. Here we'll just continue with the glue and press that on. And for example, when you don't use enough super glue, this is what you get. So this area will move and come off, and you don't want that for the initial layer. So gonna do the few areas back here that we missed. Again, I'll just prepare a layer that is roughly big enough. And if you feel like you're not pressing it on enough, like I said, you can use your round tool. Probably the best would be to use wood, so you can actually roll it on like that, and it's makes sure that the polymer has contact with all the Miliput that is below. And here I'll just press this on, cut that off with my fingernail, and again making sure that everything is covered, and we need a bit more here in the middle. Just a very tiny drop. And the more experience you can get, the more you will find out your own way to cover this really fast and still don't have too much spillage. I mean, here it's not that much of a problem. You see here I had some spillage, as these areas are going to be covered anyway, but the smaller your scale is, the more you want to be careful with the super glue as well. Because if this would be 32 millimeters, let's take the hand for example, then the wrist wouldn't be a lot thicker than this. So you want to be careful with spillage of super glue, and you will ideally try to avoid any spillage at all. In this scale I can be a bit more, you know, more YOLO. Okay, let's see if that is enough to cover the arm. And again, just use enough super glue so it sticks, and try to avoid spillage. I'm moving a bit faster so you can see everything. You want to, especially when you're doing it the first time, just go a bit slower. And like I said, especially if you're doing smaller scales, don't do it too fast. Alright, that should be good. Still need the upper arm. On the sheet you prepared, and especially on arms I want full coverage, because for the initial layer, because if you get any parts that don't stick too well, you're gonna be in trouble. And here I actually have an area that comes off. Can see this didn't want to stick here, so I'll just add a tiny little bit of super glue. And press that back on. Again, try to avoid spillage, work a bit more careful. Don't work like me. Alright, almost there. Well, I mean, it's just repeating the step for all the other extremities. Again, a really thin sheet and covering this in super glue, starting up here at the hip. And the legs are usually a bit thicker than hands and arms, so that's fine. So let me quickly cover all the rest. I Mystic. All right. You can see I still have a bit of the leg here showing, so I'll cover that as well. Then the only thing left is the arm, the second arm and the head. And the second arm. Probably gonna try to do it in one go. If your table is not too sticky, works pretty well. Can also use a bit of talcum. Just don't overdo it. Okay, that was a bit much glue. And here I decided that at least this hand will be separate, so I'm not too worried about actually putting on too much or too less, because I will cut this off anyway and make the hand that holds the dagger separate as well. So not to worry too much. Not too worried here. And here this hand will probably hold a cloak back, so I haven't really decided on what's gonna happen here. I just know that I need to clip off I'll just clip off this extra bit here, because I'll probably be able to sculpt the fingers onto the cloak. That's for a later step, so we don't need that right now. Okay, last two things. The neck, and I usually want to do this very thin as well. So I'm just putting on a bit of clay and rolling it out with the tool. And I'll just press it on with my fingers. You'll get covered in super glue, but don't worry. I mean, unless you're allergic to super glue, then it's probably just use your rod. Last thing, the head, and I usually do it like this. Take a very thin sheet. That's probably too large, and then I'll cover the head in super glue. And press it on from the front, and then just cover all the sides and slowly press on the whole thing. And here I'll clip that off. It's no big deal really, just make sure everything is covered and everything sticks and you're good. Again, just make sure that you cover that the first layer is just really thin, especially, like I said, if you go down to the smaller scales. I got a bit of Miliput showing here. I'll just quickly cover that, and probably also here. Here we go. And this should be the last thing. Looks weird now. Doesn't look like a miniature at all yet. But from here on, you can just apply the volumes. I'm gonna start, for example, with the hip area. And in this stage and scale, I can still use my fingers. So I'll just press that on. Make sure you don't have too much air between these layers, because it's no problem when baking, but it will collapse a lot when you press on top of these layers, and especially on larger scale stuff. you'll get a smaller result than you want to, even though you already applied a ton of clay. So yeah, I'll just continue to slap on clay, but this will be the subject matter of another video. So thanks for watching. Don't forget that I have a Twitch channel where I stream 4 times a week, and you can just drop by and ask questions and chat. If you have any questions on YouTube regarding this video, just drop me a comment. But for now, thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye.